Hi everyone. So today we are going to look at 5 ingredients that are quietly sitting in your kitchen right now. Ingredients that research says deserve a lot more attention than they are getting. Because as we all know, the things we trust the most are sometimes the things we understand the least. Right? Let's start with vermicelli, commonly known as sevaya. It looks light, it cooks quickly, and it feels harmless. For most people, vermicelli feels like one of the safer breakfast options. Not fried, not sweet, just simple and homemade. And that is exactly why most people never think twice about it. Vermicelli is usually made from refined wheat, and because it is so thin and processed, the body does not need much work to break it down. Digestion happens faster than most people expect, which means glucose enters the bloodstream fairly quickly. Now, this is not about sugar, it's about structure. Refined and thinly processed grains give the body an easy job, and when digestion is easy, blood sugar rises fast. So, even though vermicelli looks light on your plate, your blood sugar may read it as a fast fuel. Now, semolina or suji. It is used everywhere in upma, halwa, chila, even quick snacks. And because it is made from wheat, many people assume it behaves just like whole wheat. That assumption feels reasonable because after all, wheat is wheat, right? But the way a grain is processed changes everything about how your body handles it. And semolina is much more refined than whole grain flour. Research on glycemic response shows that particle size matters. The finer and more processed a grain becomes, the easier enzymes can reach it and the faster glucose appears after eating. Think of it this way: whole grains make the body work, refined grains do not. And suji, despite coming from wheat, has already done most of that work for you. That means a bowl of soft suji can sometimes raise blood sugar faster than expected, especially if eaten alone. It does not feel heavy, in fact, it does not even taste sweet. But your blood sugar may tell a completely different story after your breakfast. Corn flour is interesting because people really think about it. It is usually added in small amounts in soups, sauces, gravies, and coatings. So it feels too small to matter. Just a spoon here and there to get the right texture. But corn flour is mostly starch. And starch in this form is highly available to digestion. That means even a small thickening ingredient can make a dish more glucose active than it looks. The body does not see corn flour as flavor. It sees concentrated carbohydrate, and because there is almost no fiber there, absorption happens quickly. So the dish may look simple, but quietly corn flour is doing something most people never account for. Now comes sabudana. This one surprises many people because it is usually linked with fasting, light eating, or easy digestion. It feels gentle, it feels safe. In fact, for a lot of people, sabudana is the first thing they actually reach for when the stomach feels sensitive or when they are eating light for religious reasons. But here is what is actually happening. Sabudana is mainly starch extracted from tapioca. That means very little fiber, very little protein, mostly rapid carbohydrate, and when sabudana becomes soft after cooking, digestion becomes even easier. The body barely has to work at all. That is why a bowl of sabudana may sometimes create a stronger blood sugar rise than people expect, especially if there is not enough protein or fiber in your meal to slow things down. It feels light in the stomach, It digests easily, but blood sugar may experience it very differently. And for something people eat specifically to go easy on the body, that is a detail worth knowing, right? And finally, rice flour. We all know that rice already digests relatively fast in many people. But when rice becomes flour, something changes. It is the same grain, same source, but the form is completely different. And that difference is what matters. Understand this. Grinding increases surface area, and once that happens, digestive enzymes can reach starch much more quickly than they could with whole rice. The body does not have to work nearly as hard, which means glucose shows up in the bloodstream faster than most people would expect from something that started as plain rice. That means rice flour used in snacks, coatings, batters, or quick recipes may raise glucose faster than whole grain forms. Research repeatedly shows that refining and grinding change how quickly carbohydrates appear in blood after a meal. So, the same grain can behave very differently depending on its form. And that is exactly the part most people miss. We tend to think about what we are eating, but we really think about what form it comes in. A whole grain and its flour are not the same thing inside the body, and rice flour is a perfect example of how a familiar and trusted ingredient can behave in a way your blood sugar was simply not expecting. Now, the important truth: none of these foods are forbidden. The real issue is how often, how much, and what they are paired with. Because the same ingredient behaves very differently when eaten with protein, fiber, lentils, vegetables, or fat. The goal is not fear, the goal is understanding. Because once you understand why a food spikes blood sugar, you stop blaming sweetness alone and start noticing how texture, processing, and refinement quietly shapes glucose inside the body. And honestly, that changes how you look at your own kitchen, right? And if this video got you thinking about your own diet, then you need to watch my video next, because I go even deeper into the Indian diet and how exactly it connects with blood sugar. Link is right here. Go watch it next and I will see you there. Until then, peace out.